Human microchipping based on radio frequency identification (RFID) technology is slowly being implemented. It raises a whole host of concerns. What is its ultimate purpose? To find out, see our YouTube channel at RealView Report and subscribe for more interesting videos. On the 24th of August 1998, the British scientist Kevin Warwick, called Captain Cyborg, became the first human to receive an RFID microchip implant as part of Project Cyborg. Professor Warwick said that implanting a silicon chip is the ultimate form of electronic tagging and is more permanent and secure than carrying a smart card. Electronic tagging is a form of surveillance that uses an electronic device affixed to criminals so that police can monitor them. The second phase of the experiment, Project Cyborg 2.0, got underway in March 2002. This phase will look at how a new implant could send signals back and forth between Warwick's nervous system and a computer. If this phase succeeds with no complications, a similar chip will be implanted in his wife, Irina. This will allow the investigation of how movement, thought or emotion signals could be transmitted from one person to the other, possibly via the internet. In an interview released in 2009 titled Reflections and Warnings, an interview with Aaron Russo, filmmaker Aaron Russo revealed what was told to him by Nicholas Rockefeller. Among other things, he said, "The whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right, and there will be no more cash." On the 27th of June 2014, businessman John Edge started ID 2020. The ID 2020 Alliance is an innovative public-private partnership committed to improving lives through digital identity. The alliance brings together multinational institutions, non-profits, philanthropy, business, and governments to set the technical standards for a safe, secure, and interoperable digital identity that is owned and controlled by the user. The purpose of ID 2020 is to nurture public-private partnerships to provide digital identity as part of UN Sustainable Development Goal 16.9 legal identity for all. ID 2020 Alliance's funding partners include the Rockefeller Foundation, Bill Gates, GAVI and Microsoft, among others. GAVI is the project of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But, in fact, it is the Rockefeller Foundation's Bellagio Center in Italy that initiated the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, GAVI, which later became Gates's, GAVI, the Vaccine Alliance. This shows that Gates is merely a proxy for the Rockefeller Foundation. After ID 2020's launch in 2014, in the very next year, in 2015, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals was adopted with a pledge that no one will be left behind, which in this context means everyone will be microchipped. On the 20th of May 2016, at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the inaugural ID 2020 summit brought together over 400 people to discuss how to provide digital identity to all. On the 13th of November 2017, Dr. Seth Berkley, then CEO of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, wrote of the need to move to digital technologies to identify and track those currently missing out, to achieve 100% immunization coverage. On the 29th of March 2018, Idaho 2020 wrote an article which argued that immunization poses a huge opportunity to scale digital identity, by identifying and tracking those who have not taken vaccines in order to achieve 100% immunization coverage. In 2019, ID 2020 launched the first and, to date, only, certification mark for digital identity at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. In December 2020, the WHO established the Smart Vaccination Certificate Working Group to establish specifications, standards and a trust framework for smart vaccination certificates, SVCs. This requirement would be included in an updated version of the International Health Regulations. In 2021, ID 2020 launched the Good Health Pass Collaborative, to develop principles and standards for digital health passes aimed at restoring international travel during the COVID-19 pandemic by verifying travelers' COVID status, proof of vaccination, testing, and recovery. This cross-sector initiative brought together more than 125 companies and organizations from the technology, health, and travel sectors. So, what connects digital identity and certificates of vaccinating, testing and recovery? It is, under-the-skin microchip implant. Pet animals such as dogs and cats are microchipped with radio frequency identification, RFID, devices. The chip contains a unique 15-digit number matching the dog's name and breed, as well as its owner's identity and contact information. The revised law obliges breeders, pet shops and other sellers to implant the chips in puppies and kittens for sale, as well as adult dogs and cats for breeding, to improve the breeding environment. Any dog that is not implanted with a microchip will be considered as keeping a dog without a license. Microchips link to databases that store medical records from pet owners that contain essential medical information about the pet, such as allergies, pre-existing conditions, and vaccination records. As the microchip helps to find out the identity of the owners of animals, its use in human beings will identify their owners as well. In the previous century, slaves were branded to identify their owners. Now chips are used for the same purpose. Microchips have now replaced branding and slave chains, and modern slaves are eager to get one, and it is pretty normal. Humans have now become mere farm animals which are selectively bred for being a slave to the economic engines of states. Having a digital identity isn't just a good idea. It's a human right. Thus, in the name of preventing future pandemics, the whole of humanity will be microchipped for physical, medical, and financial surveillance. This is part of Internet of Bodies and the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Chip implants are also known to cause cancer,